Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. We are on Chapter 6, Lesson 14, page 461. Let's begin. And I think you're going to really like this chapter. Something that will help you in this chapter is to remember that when you divide by 10, the decimal goes to the left. And when you times by 10, the decimal is going to go to the right. So in this lesson, we are going to be learning about dividing by 10. Now, looking at this example, you could do all that's involved in dividing this all out and all those crazy steps. Or I want you to look right here. Here's our original problem, and they divided by 1/10, which means that decimal is going to move over one spot. And look where the decimal is in our answer. That decimal moved over one spot to the left. So we don't have to do all of this crazy work. We can just move that decimal one spot to the left if it's just divided by 10. What you need to do is you need to look to see how many zeros there are, and that determines how many spaces left or right you're moving. Remember, division you move left, multiplication you move right. All right, let's begin. So, we need to determine that each payment will be $21.95. Join me on the next page, please. Here we are dealing with exponents. If you look right here, we have an exponent right here that we need to translate. Now remember, 10 to the 2 means 10 times 10, which equals 100, right? But it also means that there are 2 zeros behind the 1. Now we are translating 10 to the squared means 100. And we're going to find 190.5 divided by 100, which means we're going to move the decimal to the left 2 spaces. So here we go, 1, 2. And would you look at that? That matches exactly what the answer is. The decimal's going to be right behind the 1. And we don't have to do all of that crazy stuff. I tell you, the power of tens is going to be your new favorite kind of math. So, 190.5 divided by 10 squared is going to be 1.905. The continents moved 1.905 centimeters in 1 year. And yes, we could use multiplication, which means that when we times, we would just times and move the decimal 2 spots to the right, which is what they did with the upside down rainbows, and get our original question. No complicated problems, easy peasy. Now just remember, again, if you are dividing by 10, your decimal moves left. If you are timesing by 10, your decimal moves right. That's going to be the secret sauce for this entire chapter. So let's try that. So we are dividing by 10, which means our decimal is going to move to the left one spot. So then our answer is going to be 0.72. But we need a placeholder there just so it looks proper. Number 2, we are going to translate this first. 10 squared is the same as saying 100. And there are 2 zeros there, so we move 2 spots, 1, 2. So then our answer is going to be 0.215, but we also need a placeholder right there. Very good. Number 3, we got to translate this one. This is 10 times 10 times 10. It's the same as saying 10 to the 3rd power, or it's easy just to say 1 with 3 zeros. So we're going to move 3 zeros, 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, then a decimal. It looks like we're going to have to put a placeholder 0 right there and placeholder 0 right there. So our answer is going to be 0.0192. Okay, what do you think about that? I told you you're going to like this chapter. Easy peasy. Could you please show your upside down rainbows so that I understand that you know which direction that you need to move your decimal? Remember, this is division, so we're moving the decimal left. There's 2 zeros there, so we're going to move that decimal left. 1, 2. We're going to do a placeholder 0 right there and 1 right there. So our answer is going to be 0.0562. Okay, here we go. 18.7 divided by 100. There's 2 zeros there. So we're going to move it 2 spots. 1, 2, decimal spot. So our answer is going to be 0.187, and we're going to do a placeholder 0 right there. Okay, number 6. We need to translate this. 10 to the third is like saying a 1 with 3 zeros. So I have 3 zeros there. So that's how many spots I'm going to move over. 1, 2, 3, decimal. So I know there's going to be a 0 here, a 0 here, and a 0 there. So my answer is going to be 0.0063. Okay, number 7. Ooh, what should we do here? Are there any zeros? There's not. It's not divided by any 10 powers of 10. So now think of all your properties in division and multiplication. Do you guys remember one called identity, where something is multiplied or divided by 1, it doesn't lose its identity? So this is not going to lose its identity, and it's going to stay the same. No identity theft here. Okay, number 8. 10 to the second power is like saying 1 with 2 zeros behind it. We're going to move left, because we're dividing, 2 spots. 1, 2, decimal spot. So we're going to need a placeholder 0 here and a placeholder 0 here. So we have 0.0012. Let me count my zeros there to make sure I got them all right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, got to make sure we get the right amount of zeros there. Number 9, we only have 10 to the first power. Now they're trying to trick you here and throw you off. 10 to the first power is just like saying, well, it's just 10. And we only move 1 place value. So that decimal is division, so we're just moving 1 spot. So it's going to be 0.246, and we're going to put a 0 at the front as our placeholder. Number 10. 8.72 divided by 100. There's 2 zeros there, so that's going to move left 2 spots. 1, 2. And then we're going to fill it in with placeholder zeros. So our final answer is going to be 0.0872. Okay, number 11. 10 to the second power is like saying 10 times 10, which equals 100, but it also looks like this, a 1 with 2 zeros. And I know that for each 0, I'm going to go left a place. So right here, I'm going to go 1, 2, and put a placeholder 0 there. So my answer is going to be 0.986. Whoops. Okay, number 12. Ooh, look at this one. Remember how we talked about the identity property earlier? Same story here. 5.71 divided by 1 is not going to lose its identity because anything times or divided by 1 stays the same. So 5.71. Ooh, this one's awesome. Look how many zeros there are. 1, 2, 3. So let's move it 3 spots. But where's the decimal point? This is a whole number, 437. Remember, there's always an invisible decimal point here, especially if you think about it in terms of money. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3. That decimal point is going to be clear at the beginning. So 0.437. And then I'm going to put a placeholder 0 there, just so my brain can recognize that there's a decimal point there. All right, there are your answers. Double check your work and move on to the next page with me. Number 14, Herbert bought red beans to make chili to sell at a fundraiser. The total price of the red beans was $13.90. How much did it cost for each can? So what they want you to see is that there are 10 cans of red beans. So now this whole chapter we have been doing division. So probably understand that they're going to ask you to do division here too. But divided by 10. All right, we move that decimal point 1 spot to the left, so our answer is going to be 1.39. Each can costed $1. That was a crazy dollar sign. $1.39. Sorry, it's kind of rote crazy. It's what happens when my hands are not working like they need to. Number 15, Sarah was trying to decide what kind of cat food to buy at the store. Smiley Cat costs $7.90 for 10 pounds. Purplus costs 85 cents per pound. Which pound is the better buy? Explain your reasoning. All right, so they're not even on the same increments because right here we have 10 pounds and right here we have per pound. So what we need to do is we need to decide and get them on the same increment measure level. What we're going to do here is try to get them both on per pound. So the per plus is already 85 cents per pound, so we need to figure out how much Smiley Cat's going to cost. So 7.90 divided by 10 means we're just going to move to the left 1 space right there. So now we know that the Smiley Cat is going to cost 79 cents per pound. So which pound is the better buy, or which brand is the better buy? Smiley Cat or Per Plus? You're right. It's going to be Smiley Cat. It is a little bit cheaper. And we're going to prove it by doing a dollar sign and do 79 cents is less than the 85 cent. Circle that so we know that that's a greater than less than sign. Boy, I hope you guys write a lot neater than I do. Okay, next one, we're going to do the brain builder. In Alaska, scientists are studying the melting of glaciers. They found that in the past 100 years, glaciers receded 590.5 feet. If the glaciers recede at the same rate every year, how much did they recede in 10 years? Okay, so right here we have a 10. How much did they recede in 1 year? Okay, we can figure this out. So 590 divided by 10 means we just move that decimal point over 1, which is going to equal 59.05. So now they want to know how much did it recede in 1 year. They want to know how much it receded in 1 year. So what we have to do is we have to take this number divided by 100. and that'll tell us how much each year it receded. So we have 590.5 divided by 100, which means we move that over 2 spots. That gives us the 5.905 feet per year, which is right there. Perfect. Number 17. Which one doesn't belong? Circle the expression that does not belong with the other 3. Rewrite the expression so it does belong and explain your reasoning. Okay, let's look and see if they did these correctly. Okay, let's look at each of them for this one right here. And the reason why that doesn't belong. And number 18. Describe the relationship between the numbers of places a decimal point is moved to the left and change the value of the number. Use a model to explain your answer. So right here on number 18, what I want you to do is I just want you to put, you divide by a 10, that the decimal moves left. That's pretty much what I want you to put here on number 18. All right, friends, thank you for your time, and join me on the homework.